The Oculus Rift S is here, built to succeed the beloved Oculus Rift CV1, and I have to say, this review and my time with the Rift S has gone quite a bit differently than I had thought. Now that I spent a full week with this headset, I think it's about time to go in depth on everything good and bad about this headset, so let's get right into it. I originally wasn't even going to buy the Rift S. I was perfectly happy with my original Rift and felt finicky about the inside-out tracking system, and generally didn't really like the design of the new headset. I was personally holding out until the Index launch, and while I'm still getting the Index, I was under the impression that I had not made it into the first wave of pre-orders, so I succumbed to buying the Rift S a little reluctantly. I gotta say though, you don't know what you're missing until it's arrived, and I've been pleasantly surprised. Just like every other Oculus product, the unboxing experience is great. Like with the original Rift, the cardboard box can be used as a carrying case for your new headset. You're given 2 of the new touch controllers, 2 AA batteries, a DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort adapter, and of course the headset. This time around, the headset has a Halo style headband with a ratcheting system in the back and a button here to adjust how far away the front of the headset is from your face. Also, notice no IPD adjustment. We'll get into that in a bit. There are now 5 cameras on the Rift S, ditching the sensor setup that you needed with the previous Oculus Rift. This will provide you with full room scale tracking without needing any additional sensors. Now let me just dive right into what I actually think about the headset and all of its features, because I've got a lot to say, both good and bad. First, the good, actually kind of the great. The panel used in the Rift S provides a resolution of 1280 by 1440 per eye, which is a bump up over the Oculus Rift's 1080 by 1200. It's an LCD display and actually has a slight bump down in refresh rate over the original Rift, running at 80Hz versus the previous 90Hz golden standard. But I have only good things to say about this display. When I had first heard about the resolution increase, the small iterative bump really wasn't enough for me to get excited. But the change from the Pentile OLED to the new RGB LCD panel is where the real magic happens. The new display provides a super clear image both in text and display that far surpasses the original Rift and the old HTC Vive. I noticed very little screen door effect, and while there still is some on occasion, it's hardly noticeable, relatively at least. There's far less aliasing, and generally had a really good time with how good games look with the headset. I find myself going back to play games I'd already completed a few times to see what I had missed visually. I didn't notice much of a field of view bump at all. In fact, whenever I first put on the headset, I thought that the field of view was actually smaller than the original Rift. But using the slider button on the front of the headset, I was able to bring the field of view noticeably higher by bringing the display closer to my face. There is no IPD adjustment, but I would highly suggest you just source a place or a person to try out this headset before coming to the conclusion that your IPD is too close or too far for this headset. I'm usually around the 68 to 70 range in terms of IPD, and I didn't notice a huge difference in software IPD adjustment, falling somewhere in the 67 range while comfortable. Before I move on, yes, they should have included a manual IPD adjustment. I'm with you on that. But it turned out to not be as big of a problem as I originally thought. Next, onto the controllers. I personally really like the new touch controllers. They still have the same grip length as the previous iteration, but feature a smaller face and no touch sensor by the thumb. Of course, the sensor ring is placed on top rather than on bottom to catch the Rift S's insight system, but that hasn't really bothered me. The new rubberized coating on the controllers feels very nice, and the lower weight is a noticeable improvement, but the overall quality feels slightly lower, and I would definitely baby these controllers a little bit more than I did my previous ones. Audio. So my biggest gripe about the Oculus Quest was the shoddy audio quality. The Rift S is only slightly better in this situation. While the audio quality is certainly better and louder than the Quest, it makes no freaking sense why there's no headphones. What's even worse is that the Halo style headband makes it harder to fit normal style headphones over. In my eyes, if people have to create a workaround of an obvious flaw in your design, you've designed a bad product, or at the very least, a bad part of the product. Please, I do not ever want to see this awful head strap audio design in a PC VR headset ever again. I mean, if you're going to do this, at least include a better audio solution in the box. This is a clear step back from the original Rift's headphones. That's -1 point. Tracking. So the more and more I play with the insight tracking on the Quest and Rift S, the more I enjoy it, and I'm sure if you're a hyper-competitive VR player, or if you're in the VR league, you might have some reservations about the tracking here, but myself, I haven't found a time where I have messed up due to the tracking. In fact, I perform far better in games due to having consistent, not better, but more consistent tracking in 360 degrees. Of course, you still have the insight tracking dead spot behind you as I show here, but compared to the Quest, you don't have the dead spot above you since you have 5 cameras instead of 4. I can pull my arms out as far as I can and still have tracking, but if you put the controllers too close to your face, you will still lose tracking, and as I said in my Quest video, I've never actually had to do this in the game, so it's a non-issue for me. I have to say, insight tracking is growing on me. Design. So here's where I'm a little torn. The head strap design is actually very comfortable. But the original Rift wasn't uncomfortable for me either, and I also really liked that. So why the change up in design? Maybe it's because the cameras are attached to the headset, so the front would inherently be heavier? Or is it because of this logo on the side of the headset? I'm guessing it's the latter. While the Halo design is comfortable and easy to adjust, I have a problem with the build quality. The ratchet on the back of the headset kind of scares me that it's going to break, and I know that there's only plastic gears in there, so it's only a matter of time. The button on the front of the headset has some weird catch points and doesn't feel very precise. I will say, be careful when taking this thing on and off and using the adjustments, they don't feel super robust. The plastic on the headset itself has a noticeably lower quality than the Quest as well as the original Rift. And I kind of have to ask myself what happened here, but then you remember that Lenovo logo on the side and it all kind of makes sense. In the VR space, Lenovo doesn't exactly have the best reputation for VR headsets, so it makes you wonder why Oculus, who has always had a great reputation with at least the build quality of their headsets, partners with someone who has the opposite to design their flagship PC VR HMD. Well, I have a feeling, and it's purely conjecture, but I think that Oculus knew that they had to stay competitive in the PC VR market, and they needed a refresh. They spent plenty of time and money developing the insight tracking system, as well as the Quest, knowing that that's where they would make the real money, and they needed someone to manufacture their PC headset cheap. Like I said, I don't work for Oculus, and if the plastic is just a couple grades cheaper, really I don't think it makes a big deal in the grand scheme of things. And here's where I was going to start my little talk about what the Rift S and Quest should have been, but I'll save that for another video, as I think it definitely deserves its own, but for now we'll just focus on what I think about this headset. So what are my final thoughts on the Rift S? What's good? The display looks great, I'm really impressed there, the refresh rate didn't bother me, the controllers are easy to use and comfortable, the head strap design is comfortable and easy to adjust, the tracking is pretty good, setup was very easy, no sensors, no nonsense, and what's bad? No CV1 style headphones, it just makes no sense. Audio is kind of unnecessarily bad. Build quality and materials are questionable compared to other Oculus products. Tracking isn't completely flawless. And there's actually a new development. I had to delay this video another day to add this in, because while I've been playing the past couple days, about every 20 minutes or so, the insight camera has just completely stopped working. It looks a little like this, and you lose complete control of your controllers except for rotational. This is a pretty device-breaking bug, and it looks like quite a few people are having this issue. I switched to USB ports, updated my BIOS, disconnected everything but the headset, and nothing fixed it. I tried just about everything in the book. I got in touch with Oculus, and they recommended I repair my installation of the PC Oculus app, and it does seem to have fixed the problem for now. If this was hardware related, I certainly would have taken a hard no stance on this headset. But for now, this seems to be an isolated incident that just a few people were having, including myself, which is unfortunate. I was able to get mine fixed, but I figured I would mention it here since it was frustrating for a couple days. Everything seems to be good now, but if there are any further developments, I will certainly bring it up on this channel. Well, let's get back to the good bits of the review. So I gotta say, this is an awesome VR headset. I really like it, and I'll be using it daily until my index arrives. Is it a good Oculus headset? Well, I don't think it's the best Oculus could have done. Maybe I had expected the build quality and design to be better, you know, like headphones. But all in all, it's a very capable headset, and it's worth the price. I really do think it's worth the upgrade if you have a CV1 or HTC Vive. If you're new to PC VR, then similarly, this is a great headset and you'll be extremely happy with the ease of use and performance of the device. It's only $399 and it's a great entry into VR, plus you get to enjoy all the benefits of being on an Oculus device. All in all, it's a thumbs up for me. Well, I really hope you enjoyed, and if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, like it, and let me know what your impressions of the Rift S or Quest are. Make sure to hit that bell and join up in my Discord to see when I post as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, Thrill signing off.